Vunair Airlines is a large airline company that operates flights to all major tourist destinations and has a huge IT environment to support their business. They use CA spectrum infrastructure to monitor and manage various devices on the network. Their network environment have thousands of devices. These devices include routers, hubs, and switches. On the other hand, they use software-defined network or SDN to maintain huge data centers that host virtual services such as virtual machines and networks. For this, they need a SDN solution to track the status of these virtual networks. Since CA Spectrum does not support this solution, they were worried on how to monitor these virtual networks. With CA Spectrum 10.2, they are happy to hear that the CA Spectrum SDN solution can help them to meet the needs of SDN and virtual network functions. With this, they can view different SDN entities, alarms, spotlight views, and vMotion. Do you want to know how they do that? CA Spectrum SDN integrates with the CA Virtual Network Assurance to get the information related to the inventory, performance, alarm status, and so on, from the virtual networks. It also displays the entire topology of the virtual networks and how they are connected to the physical networks on the OneClick console. CA Virtual Network Assurance or VNA is called as SDN Gateway for CA Spectrum. The SDN Gateway enables existing infrastructure management solutions to monitor the SDN networks. It collects SDN data and transfers the data to CA Spectrum. Let's view a quick demonstration that shows how Vunair Airlines are able to benefit from this SDN solution. Before we begin, we must enable the integration between CA Spectrum and SDN Gateway through the CA Spectrum Administration Portal. Open the CA Spectrum Administration Portal and go to the SDN Gateway Integration Configuration page. Enter the SDN server host name and the port number. Select the required Spectro server from the drop-down menu. Now, enable the SDN Gateway integration and then click the Save button. This sets the connection between the CA Virtual Network Assurance and CA Spectrum. Open the CA Spectrum OneClick console, and select the Universe sub-view. Here, you can view all the SDN-related entities such as sub-networks and compute nodes. These compute nodes hosts the virtual machines and virtual networks. Click the Topology tab and then expand the view. You can see all the compute nodes, virtual networks, and how they are connected to each other. If the compute node is SNMP reachable to Spectrum, it is modeled as a SNMP entity, else it will be modeled as an IP device. You can also rearrange this view. Click the Edit button. You can choose from the 3 different arrangements that are available under the Arrangement drop-down. Let's select Radial from the drop-down menu. Now, click the Save button. You can now see radial view of all the entities. Similarly, a new view is created called SDN Manager under which you can find all the SDN-related entities such as compute nodes and networks. Service function chain is the list of network services that are hosted for a domain and are stacked together to form a set of network service functions. Click the Topology tab. Now, click the Spotlight view icon and then select the Service Function Chain option from the menu. The list of service function chains along with the associated tenants is displayed. Select a service function chain from the list and the Spotlight view highlights the compute nodes that have VMs associated to the service function chains. Similarly, you can select the other service function to highlight the corresponding compute nodes in the universe topology. Now, click the information icon to view the component details. This screen shows the SDN virtual overlay and SDN service view details and also shows the physical and virtual connections of the compute nodes in the service chain. Click the SDN Virtual Overlay tab. The SDN Virtual Overlay tab shows the network functions that are part of the selected service function chain and compute nodes on which these network functions are hosted. Click the SDN Service View tab to view the order of the network functions and direction of the packet flow that are defined in the service function chain. vMotion enables switching of the running virtual network functions from one physical compute node to another with zero downtime. When a compute node is down and vMotion is performed, the SDN gateway identifies the changes in the SDN and sends the acknowledgement to the CA spectrum. Now, let's see how vMotion works. For the purpose of this demo, we have made the compute node down. Observe the SDN gateway identifies the changes in the SDN network and sends the acknowledgement to CA spectrum. Based on the acknowledgement, CA spectrum updates the service function chain view. Here, you can observe that the network function is automatically assigned to a new compute node. CA spectrum raises an alarm whenever any of the virtual machines are down or removed. This is the normal topology view when all compute nodes are running. Now, for the purpose of this demo, we have made few of these down. Let's see what happens if some of these experience outage or removed. The red flags attached to the virtual machines indicates that they are down. Click the Alarms tab. You can see the list of all virtual machines that are down under the Universe node. Further, you can also view the alarms raised under each compute node. Check the topology view. It clearly indicates the alarms raised for the virtual machines. You can also see the alarm status for the same compute node in the Alarms tab. Whenever the virtual machines are back online, CA spectrum clears all these alarms. You can see physical to virtual view using the service function chain. A physical compute node can have multiple levels of virtual connections. That is, you can drill down into a physical compute node to see its virtual connections. Double-click on any of the compute nodes to check the service function view. As you can see, this service function chain view displays the virtual network functions of the compute node. Now, let's see the information about virtual entities that are connected to a physical compute node. Under the Universe view, expand the compute node sub-view. You can see all the virtual entities listed under this node. Select a virtual entity and from the Contents pane, click the Information tab to view the details. Expand the SDN Modeling Information sub-view. You can see the information such as entity type, ID, tenant name, data source context, node name, and network function name. Let's expand the Information tab to a new window. Now, expand the SFCs associated to this VM sub-view to observe about the associated service function chain name and its ID. Similarly, you can expand the VM address table sub-view to learn about the associated IP address and the MAC address. I am sure you now understand the SDN feature in CA Spectrum. To learn more about CA Spectrum, please visit the CA Spectrum website.